This is the problem that we're finding with a lot of sales managers, business owners, is they're only looking to one of those levers, thinking if I fix one of them, I fix them all. So I'm just going to walk you through what we're doing practically. If you're able to take this and run it with yourselves, then please do that. Coach others, help others, spend more money, and let's get this whipping around the economy so we all benefit, so the business confidence can bounce back. So if you can implement this by yourself, go ahead and get that done. If you can't, you're going to have to reach out to us or to somebody else to get some external help, because if you're not capable of doing it yourself, you have to become capable through someone else's help. If you can get free help, that's wonderful. Otherwise, pay for it, because the opportunity loss is probably greater than the cost it would have cost you. But this is the point I want to stress. It is not enough to fix the inbound process. It is not enough to just fix prospecting and cold calling and business development process. It's not enough just to fix how you're managing proactively your existing accounts. You've got to look across the board and tweak and improve across all of these so you have a compounding impact of improvement. It's too simplistic if we're just saying fix the quantity of what we do. We'll just fix the quality of what we do. You've got to fix all three of those: quality, quantity, consistency. But you've got to do that across all five of these. It is rarely enough to produce results. And to be clear, we've worked alongside about 15,000 businesses now. We've seen this firsthand. When we talk to people and they say, I just need to fix this one thing, it's overly simplistic. It's almost babyish. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's too simplistic. Sales and marketing are social sciences. They constantly are affected by government, affected by the economy, affected by psychology, affected by confidence, and even affected by your competitor. So let's go through some of the critical things you might need to fix. As I said, only pick 3 things from today, please. So when it comes to quantity, we've got to make sure we're measuring the right things without micromanaging, which undermines people's self-confidence and empowerment. We've also got to get that balance between team activities and goals versus individual, because different members of your team are focusing on different markets, different clients, different parts of the sales cycle. They're also different levels of experience, different levels of self-motivation. So it's quite nice if everybody's being measured on the same thing, but it's also unrealistic, because you might have an experienced person who's just targeting key accounts. They don't need to do 50 phone calls a week. They need to do 5, but do them amazingly well prepared. And then likewise, we need to be mindful around developing that know-how long-term and know how we're going to measure it, how we're going to measure it for. Now, in our academy, we try to track and measure the same things for a quarter, because a quarter gets it past the 66-day mark, which is when you've fully embedded habits. So we take it to 90 days or 91 days in order to get past the 66 days of embedding habits. So how long you're going to measure for is key. Let's think about the quality. We're talking about the right process. We're talking about the right scripting, the right approach, the right preparation, the right use of the CRM, the right follow-up. There's a lot of things to get right. I think there's about 150 things you likely need to get right. And we've been coaching sales long enough to be able to name 150 different tweaks and improvements that you need to make. The challenge is this. Most sales teams over the last 5 or 10 years, until the pandemic happened, or even a couple of years after the pandemic, most sales teams were good. The ones that were bad stopped working. They've disappeared, sold their business, collapsed, gone into a merger and acquisition process. But the reality here is most teams that are good, most managers and leaders and owners that are good haven't had to become great. So they haven't tweaked and improved. There are 50 things they need to improve. Little ones here, little ones there, but those compound effect, because one flows to the other, flows to the other. So one of the issues around quality right now is that we're overly focused on just fix one thing, just script that, or just improve that process. And it's not enough. And also most businesses, teams have allowed ourselves to get away with being good, and it hasn't driven them to become great. That's one of the best quotes out of the Good to Great book by Jim Collins. If you haven't read it, read it or watch a brief video of it. But again, good is the enemy of great. One thing you've got to do as a leader, not only demand excellence for your team, because why shouldn't we demand excellence? We're paying people good wages mostly, but you need to role model excellence. You need to role model resilience. You need to role model self-accountability. You can't demand something in somebody else. Remember, when your hand's designed and you point at something, there's 3 fingers on your hand pointing back at you. So if you're demanding excellence from the team, what are you demanding of yourself, and are you role modeling it? Then when it comes to consistency, this is what we're doing in our academy. We're doing weekly accountability sessions with people. Are you doing the same in a team setting? We're also refining and improving every other week the quality of what people are doing. Are you doing that? Number 3, Once a month and once a quarter, we're holding teams accountable for progress around activity, around quality, around mindset. Please do that. And it's all good and well doing daily huddles. They seem to be very popular in this part of the world, but they were originally designed for factory workers and production workers. They're definitely good for a bit of motivation. They're definitely good for focus. They're definitely good for a little bit of mini accountability, but they were not designed for sales teams. They do not replace one-on-ones. They do not replace weekly sales meetings. They're just good for a little shot in the arm and sometimes just the simple reassurance to the sales manager that your team's got something to aim at for the day that you're going to follow them up to tomorrow. I want to be clear. Daily huddles do not replace other things such as weekly meetings, monthly reviews, and quarterly reviews, and strategizing also focuses around quality. They're normally just about quantity, a little bit of a boost of motivation. That's typically all they're doing. So they're good, but they won't change your business. It's not enough.